absolutely love it.
Oh, that's amazing. And you are worth it. And you know that now. Like, you get rid of all that old shit that's funny because, like, it had nothing to do with him, but led to being with him. And now it's like, you know what? I am worth it. I'm worth all of this. All the things that you made me feel like I wasn't. And all the,
and that was really beyond my character too, because I'm a very people-pleasing person. And especially when I'm with a man, I want, okay, Judy, put your shit aside and just be with him before him. And when I stood up for myself and I said, fuck no, I'm not doing that. That was my money I spent on this dress. I'm not going to go out there and doll up and he's been treating me like this. Hell no. Hell no. And his mommy was so pissed because she had it all figured out. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you, fuck your family, and fuck your son. That was it. And I was like, even my friends were like, whoa, because that was not in my character.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, motherfucker, I knew something wasn't right. I knew something wasn't right when I first met him. And he'd been stalking this girl, and she was like 13 years younger. He knew her and her husband and 2 kids. And they were going through a divorce, and he stepped in the middle of it. And she was like, no, I'm not interested. But he would buy her things, buy the kids things, and act like he was the caregiver for the kids.
Yeah.
And
really dark. Okay. Like where my office is, it's like a shadow on my face. Anyway.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
And so, and he wouldn't tell me who it was for the longest time, and I didn't really even care. It's just that he kept trying to triangulate.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would, you know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? If I'm in a relationship, it's me and you. It's not me, you, and her. Yeah. And that's the first time I kicked him out of my apartment within like 2 months of being here. I'm like, just get out. And he's like, well, and then he messaged my daughter saying, well, you know, I'll miss your mom, even though she used me to move. And my daughter's like, no, my mom does things with purpose, and she didn't use you because she has her own money. So you emailing me and trying to get me in the middle of this tells me everything I need to know about you. Do not contact me again. I mean, she ripped him a new one. I was like, good, bingo. Yeah. And that was my eye opener to who he really was.
Yeah.
And it never stopped. And it's still going. Even though I'm not around, I'm not giving him anything. And he's still doing it. And I'm just like, you know what? That's just, let him waste the energy. I wasted 3 years of my life. If he wants to waste more, let him.
Yeah. And that's so powerful. And I'm so like happy for you. Like, I wish where you're at and like what you're
I lost you. I can't hear you.
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. It's like froze for a second. I wish like for everyone where you're at is where they could be, because I mean, I get messages all the time of people who are like, I'm trying and trying and trying, and it's just, I'm trying to help him. I'm doing everything, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm losing myself. And I'm like, I know. I know. I've been there. Imagine taking that time and energy that you're putting to try to fix him or change him or get him to stop doing certain things and start doing others, and you put all of that, not even all of it, like even if you put half of that into yourself. Imagine. But it's so like, I mean, you've been there, I've been there, like it's so difficult to imagine. It just seems impossible. But
right.
I mean, now like
it's really, you lose yourself. It's like you don't even, your thoughts, your behavior, just everything is not who you was before you met that person.
Yeah.
I absolutely. So I was thinking when I posted the picture of before and after, before I met him, while I was with him, and after. And I thought, you know, I got my hair done right before I got rid of him. And we had a jar that was like a spending for emergencies. And I used $100 out of that. And my hair was like $200 to get all done. And when I got home, he was throwing stuff around. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, this is the last time you're going to use my money to go beauty up for some other guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, don't forget the fucking jar. And I threw it at him, and it just shattered everywhere. I was like, go, get the fuck out. I don't need you. I don't need your money. I'm done. I'm fine. I'm ready to go. If that's is that the card you want to play, I'm going to play it. You know what I mean? So he's outside my apartment going, "You fucking whore, you use my money." I was like, go. I'm fine. I'm dollied up. I got a date tonight. I mean, I'm so done with those. I just, I think about when I got triggered this morning, I started reacting to it. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? I've gone a month with nothing. And then all of a sudden it's this. And then I was like, just thinking about all the times things happened that didn't need to happen and all the control that he tried to get over me. And I'm just like, you know what? No.
Yeah. And every time we get triggered, it's just a message. We're receiving a message. It's a test to like, just a way for us to tune in and check in. Like, look, this person, whether it's him or anybody, like anyone, but oftentimes it's people that, we feel like we're less than, we're not good enough for. And then it's like the sense to prove that we are. And it's like our way of saying, you know what, actually, there's nothing I need to prove to you because I am enough. Like whether you want me to feel that I am or I'm not, like regardless. But I really think it's like those tests are there for us to just like when we work through that to go, you know what, that's simply not me anymore. Yeah, that's the old me. And right. And then you start noticing, I even do it too. Okay, here, like I can feel it. I can feel it come like up from within. And I'm like, ooh, here it is. What the fuck? I don't like this feeling. But this feeling is connected to something completely unrelated to like this event right here. It goes way back. And it's like, okay, I feel like I'm not good enough, but that's bullshit. I am. So it has nothing to do with them. Yeah. But and then it's like to pull through that instead of spiral down that black hole, to like pull yourself out of it, recognize it is so, and that's what it's all about.
And yet literally spend hours wasting just, I won't do it again. I won't do it again.
Yeah. This was bad hours, sometimes days, weeks, months. I mean, I can think back on like a year of my life that everything was just down this endless rabbit hole, like that had to do with him.
Right.
Like, no. That's
anything
one
to keep
thing
the
in life.
Focus off of you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing in life you never get back is time. Like time is the most valuable thing that we have. And how are we spending it? We're giving it to people who don't even see the value in it. If they don't see it as the gift that it is, like time is a gift. And when they don't see it as the gift that it is, and they just take and never good enough. It's never enough time or money or whatever. Like you're never going to win. Like, why am I giving them the one thing I can't get back in life? You can get back money, you can get back things, you can get back anything except for time. And that's the one thing you give them the most of. It's like crazy making.
Right.
That's amazing.
When you think about that, and that's kind of how I felt today. I felt really suffocated and just in the dark. So I opened up all my curtains and burnt some sage. And I started feeling better. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my tapping. And I'm going to look at something to remind me that this is not what I need. And that's when I found that picture. I was like, you know what? I'm posting my happy picture. This is me after you. And it was over. It was over.
Wow. Isn't it amazing? Like the release that you can feel. And that's all it is. It's about getting to that spot. Like, okay, opening up the windows, that's part of it. Like burning sage, that's the next part of it. Like tapping, that's the next part of it. And boom, there it is, that visual, that reminder. And then it's gone. And all of those things were things you did for you.
Right. And me only, because I'm the only one that's here, me and my dog, and she's laying there, and I'm like, you know what? I could be focusing, I could be playing ball with her. I could be taking her I took her for a walk this morning, and boy, she was being a pistol. She was like a toddler. I'm like, well, you're being extra. You need to stop.
You're out of 10. I need you to do it too.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, I haven't had coffee. Oh my gosh. So I think I had a bad dream and I don't remember it. So I called my spirit guide in and I said, you need to give me something to feed on here so I don't waste my whole day going back and forth. And so I got my email for school at Baser for the herbal science. I got an appointment with them. I know.
Oh my gosh, when you said that, I'm so excited.
You know, it just hit me like that. Like, this is right here. And then I would scroll and try to do something else. And something kept trying to tell me, like, she was here pushing me, like, go back and stop it. And so I looked my back and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. This is what I need to do. For one, it's going to get me moved. For two, it's going to get me out of the field of nursing because I don't like nursing. And three, this is something I've always wanted to do. I want to have a shop where it has like alternative medicine and people can come in and not have to, you know, worry about all these different types of this modern medicine. People, it's just a moneymaker. I've seen it. I've been on that end. I know what they do.
You
and
know,
so
it's all big pharma.
I really want this.
Yeah.
It is. It is. So, I started talking to Amelia about moving. I was like, we're going to have a porch. We're going to have a big backyard with a tree in it. So you have your shade. It's going to be a smaller town, a suburb of this in Washington. And we're going to walk in the rain, barefooted. We're going to do whatever we want. And life is going to be okay. And she just looked at me and she had this smile on her face.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I
there
needed.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't it amazing when you take away like all the noise and the clutter and the woulda, coulda, shouldas,
Yes.
and like you just are in tune with exactly what's present for you and what's present for you, and then that energy to get pulled back, even to get pulled back to look at an email when you're scrolling or swiping or whatever. It's like, there it is. And then it's in the stillness that it comes.
Right. It was like Charlotte took her finger and was like pointing at it, like right here, and was smack my hand, like, stop it, right here. Like, damn it. Okay, Charlotte, you're telling me I need to do this. And I was like, you know what? You're right. My kids are grown. I don't want to be here. And I've wanted to be out of Kansas because I've been sheltered. I want to explore. This is my ticket right here. This is what I need to do. And it's just like, she was just like, oh, finally.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
That's incredible. So it's been what, like a month or like 4 or 5 weeks? Did you imagine like 5 weeks ago you would be sitting here feeling like this or having this conversation?
Like 5 weeks ago, I thought I was going to be dead or he was going to be dead because I was that done. Or both.
Yeah.
I was that done. And I would tell people that too. Like, one of us are going to die, if not both. I'm done. And they're like, whoa, because I've just always been the type where I was always nice and bit my tongue and just, you know, and then when I voice my opinion, you listen because it's not like me to be like that. And I would tell them that you're going to get a bullet right between the fucking eyes because the person you're dealing with is not the person you was with. You need to understand that for your safety. And you'd be like, oh yeah, like, who the fuck is this?
Oh, and I used to say the same thing. I think that's why, like, people ask how I got out of it. So my ex-military had guns everywhere. And I was seeing red. Like, I think he literally, when I was at that point you're describing you were at, he was like, this is not this sweet little, like, I can walk all over person. Who the fuck is this? And I was like, I will fucking murder you. And like, I meant it. I really, I meant it. Like, and that I would probably be sitting in jail like, oh my God, what did I do? Because that's not that's not me. But it was like, that's something inside of me. He took me to that place I didn't even know existed. And I mean, and it's not us, but that's the power of like, how fucked up that world is when you're living in that. And I mean, unfortunately, it takes many people to that place that they don't want to be, they don't know exists, but and they get pulled into it, like that vortex of, and it's crazy. It's not a way to live, I'll tell you that.
That's why I replied to that lady. I was like, if you stay in it, you're going to have suicidal ideations. I mean, you're going to want to die. It's not if. You're going to hate your life. And that's just the God honest truth. And my son broke to tears because when I told him that, he was just, he couldn't believe it. And I'm like, it's not that it's the me talking. It's just that my life with him was that bad.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't leave me alone. And now that I'm pretty sure my son has said something, because he hasn't driven by, hasn't done nothing. And my son's like me, one extreme or the other. And he was being cordial because I'm mom, and he was being respectful toward me, not toward Mike, toward me. And I think something has happened because I haven't had any problems. And I don't know if it's because of RTT and I really don't give a shit if he's driving by or whatever, or if it's that my son actually said something. He won't tell me. He's the type.
It's a combination.
I see my son as a real man. He takes it into his hand. Huh?
I think it's most likely a combination of both. It's never just one. Yeah. I mean, it's your mindset, because you create your world with your thoughts. So if your thoughts were, maybe he is driving by, now your thoughts are like, who gives a fuck if he drives by? Drive by. I don't care. You know, waste your time. I'm not wasting mine. Waste yours all you want.
Right.
But then a combination of him possibly not, because of what your son said. So in seeing that in you, like, this is my mom, and fuck you if you think you're gonna do anything. Yeah.
Right. And then especially after him he's going using his girlfriend to get at me to train him.
Yeah.
And I think when I told him, when I sat down and I just said, okay, Judy, you can't show a lot of emotion. You just need to explain. And I said, I know that he's using her to get to me, but I'm going to tell you something. I left him for a reason. I left him because of the things I've seen on his computer, and I don't trust him around my daughter, around you, or your girlfriend. And I'm going to put it in your hands because she came to you to make sure it was okay. And you said it was okay, but you need to be protecting her because he is not trustworthy. He is not who I thought he was. And there is a reason why I left. And he left. And the look on his face, I know, it triggered.
Yeah, good.
So I have to remember that I'm in control of my life. Yeah. Thank God my kids are older and they're not buying into any of this. And I don't care about anybody else. Just me and my kids.
Yeah.
Like you said, my pet sitter's replaceable. I can't worry about little casualties of war is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah. And it's just like, your favorite grocery store stopped carrying your favorite brand of, I don't know, peanut butter. I had peanut butter bars this morning, somebody of peanut butter. And man, that fucking sucks. But you know what? I may have to go an extra mile to get it. But that store down the road has, just like the pet sitter, like I really liked them, but you know what? It's just not working out anymore. Go find someone else. Like go somewhere else, find something else. And it's just, all it is just a minor inconvenience.
Right.
But it has a much bigger payoff. You don't want to be stuck in that wondering and thinking like, nope, sorry. Just time to move forward.
And I actually feel like I reacted with a lot of emotion, but I stuck to my guns. Like, what you did was wrong because you would have came to me. And then after that, him going to my son's girlfriend and her going to my son and saying, is this going to be okay? That confirms that, okay, she knew it was okay. It was right to go to my son for confirmation first. My pet sitter didn't because she doesn't respect me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Pointless client, I mean, when you don't respect people, and she was out, it's like, okay, yeah, she got money from you, but it's like, it's never about that. Like, you got to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And when you don't,
right. People
who are in tune with that, they feel it, and it's like, nope, I'm not going to stand for that ever with anybody. Oh my gosh.
Well, Mommy and Daddy moved her back to Colorado, so.
All right, well,
because I was like, what? At first I was mad at her, and then I was like, what? If I let this continue and don't at least let her parents know, because she's just now turning 21.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in their hands and let them deal with it. I'm not going to try to control the situation, but I don't want her in harm's way either.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I contacted the parents, and they handled the situation, which makes me feel better because I don't hate her as a human. I just don't like what she did.
Right.
Because she is young.
That's doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And that's where, your, more years of experience come into play and are a benefit to her now. That way, hopefully she kind of sees it, or, you know, at least has the knowledge of like, okay, when this happens again, then kind of has something to fall back on to go back to. So,
Right.
awesome. So tell me anything about your exercises that you've worked on that's come up, or are they all going well? Any areas, the places you got stuck?
No, just my goddamn printer. I'm ready to just take a bat to it. I got a flush kit for it. I'm going to do this and do that. And I'm just like, I went to my neighbor and had her print out my last exercise. And I was just like, she's like, well, it'll be easier to flush. I said, you know what? I'm just thinking about taking a bat and having me some therapy time. I said, I'm done, you know, but anyway, outside of that, I've done really well writing. I noticed that, and I've always done this, my handwriting, it relays my emotions.
Feelings, yeah.
If I'm tense, I can see how tiny it gets, like, and then I start making these, you know, these crosses and these, I'm just like going back and reading it like, whoa.
Yeah, I do too. Mine gets like small and like jagged and like angled and like angry. And when I look back, I'm like, who wrote that? Oh my God, I wrote that. Whoa. Yeah.
And then when you write about things, it's all bubbly and cursive, looking pretty. And I'm just like, that's probably the hardest part, is going back and reading that, not writing it down as you feel the emotion, but going back and reading it. That's probably the hard part. I'm getting better at using mirrors. I got mirrors everywhere. I told you that. It's like a mirror apartment. So that's gotten better. Now, that was kind of weird to get used to at first, because right when I got them, I cut my hair off and I started wearing tighter clothes. Not like sexy clothes, but not baggy to hide everything.
Yeah.
And I changed my wardrobe. I changed my looks. I changed my apartment. Everything was changed. So it was kind of like walking into somebody's place for the first time.
Yeah.
It took a little getting used to.
Yeah. How does it feel now that you've had more experience with that? Because that was a couple weeks ago.
Right. It feels, I told you, I feel lighter.
Yeah.
I feel released, liberated, more accepting of myself. I can see myself for the first time. Like literally, when I think about myself, I can see myself. I've never been able to do that. I've always been detached.
Wow.
That's weird.
And how crazy is that to think, like, here you are and like, I can't even see myself.
Yeah,
Sometimes
because the vision I had in my head was so different from what I seen in the mirror. Like every time I go to brush my teeth or put makeup on or curl my hair, I'm just like, it's like I was doing somebody else. I was so detached. And now there was an exercise saying, use a mirror, look at your body, and have your body speak to your body and have your body speak to you. And I didn't have to get a mirror. I already knew what I look like. And I was like, this is the first fucking time in 48 years this has ever happened. Oh my gosh.
I even noticed the shift in transition, like on my hips, like way before. I didn't get a single stretch mark while I was pregnant, but I had stretch marks when I hit puberty, like 14, 15, like just all over like my thighs and my butt. And I was so self-conscious of them. And my first husband used to tell me, you know, you can go get those lasered off. Like, you know, like, and he would kind of sit there and like pull them. And now I look at him and I'm like, I'm a woman. Like I earned every mark of my body, every scar, every mark is me. I would never go use some medical device, a laser to get rid of anything that's there, unless it was like a mole that had cancer. But like something that's just unpleasing to somebody else, like that's because you see yourself and you're unpleased with what you see. Like no, that's me. And like for the first time, I mean, I used to run and like just overtrain and exercise. And the other day I was wearing shorts and like caught a glimpse of my legs in the mirror and saw cellulite. And I'm like, that's me. Like, okay. For the first time ever, like looked at it and smiled instead of like wasn't disgusted by it. Like, that's just me. It's perfectly perfect. Perfectly imperfect. Yeah. I mean,
and that I've never had that self acceptance, because growing up, all the way up until now, when I look at pictures, when people show me pictures of us, I don't recognize myself. It's really weird that all my pictures, I look different. And so I was detached because I didn't know, I guess I really didn't actually look at myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really look at myself and accept myself. So when I curl my hair now and I'm doing my makeup and stuff, thanks to you, I talk to myself.
Oh my gosh. And it just gets
really
better,
weird.
Judy. Like it really does. It just continues to improve. I mean, sometimes it's funny. Like Gabby I'll be laying in bed with her and I'm just smiling. And I can just feel like, not like cheesy, but just like feel like the corners up, you know, instead of like before I would just feel like the squinching of my eyes and just like that anger. Now I'm just, and then she'll go, "What's funny, Mama?" I'm like, "Nothing, baby girl. I'm just, this is good. It's good." And she'll go, "I'm good."
It's happiness. True happiness.
Yeah. And it's just that feeling, like, and just what's inside is coming out now. And it's just so cool. I'm so excited. So happy, like, for you and your journey. And you've been very raw and real with it. And I'm excited for all of this. And there's so much more to come. Wow. Did you get, I think I sent you week 5. Did you do the next RTT yet? Or are you still, where are you at?
I'm at between 3 and 4. I'm starting 4 tonight.
Okay.
And then, you know, when you said there's so much more to come, I'm going to tell you something. All my life, I have always read the back of the last chapter of a book. I'll read the first and I'll read the last. And this is what I've been doing. I was like, okay, I got to read the whole 4. And then I'll read and see what was coming up. And then you sent me 5 and I'm like, I got to read 5. And I'm reading what's coming up next. And it's like, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. And 5 is really cool. Like 5's your next RTT session. And so, as you know, you've had the first experience and done all this work. This one is going to be way different than the first one. And it's interesting. Like, I've always had scenes come up until I did more and more and more. And then you're trying to go back to these times where you didn't believe this about yourself. And now it's almost like my mind immediately goes, you know what, but that's not me anymore. Like, that's not. So, I mean, you'll have a very different experience from your second RTT session than your first. There will still be there. And sometimes I've had the same experience or scene come up, but it's been a different interpretation and a different meaning. It was like, oh, wow, that same experience, like the first time meant this and now it means this. So it's almost like you're just shifting the angle of what you're looking at it. So I can't wait to hear about your experience with the second. But I mean, it's all good. I do the same thing. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? What's next? But then, yeah, the excitement for it instead of like the fear of like, oh God, what's going to come up? It's like, oh, what's going to come up? Whatever it is, like I'm ready to be with it. Yeah. Oh, that's
I think
awesome.
the best part is sharing with people that haven't started it. And I just, and there's no, you can't put into words. Transformation is the best word, but I feel like it's just a reborn. Like you've just give rebirth to yourself. And you've been reborn and you get to be the person you've always wanted to be, and all that other shit doesn't matter because it belongs to somebody else and it's not yours to carry around, so quit.
You just summed it all up in like 2 sentences. It's so true. Oh my gosh. And I would love if you, because I mean, you and I have both had the experience, and you more recently with this, and it's so important. Like that's just like what I'm on a mission to do, is just help people. But as you know, it's so difficult when you're in it to believe that that's possible and available, because it's like, it's just not. So I would love if we could like do a little Zoom meeting and then share with people, because I just want people to know, like, when they're ready, it's available. And it is, right. It does take doing the work yourself. I mean, and you've been amazing at like your commitment to sticking to it and not being afraid, or even doing it when you're afraid, knowing like you're just all it's just like this is rebirth, like you're shining light, you're like coming out of the dark tunnel and it's just there's the light. And when you're in the light, it's like, wow, I can't believe I was in the dark for that long. And I kept myself in the dark. Wasn't anybody else. There was not a gun to my head. I was doing it. And it's like the craziest thing, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, I would love if we could.
When I first started with you, the thought back of my mind was, okay, Judy, something's better than nothing. Whatever's going to happen here is better than where I'm at now. Never in my wildest fucking dreams would I imagine that I would be where I'm at right now. No, never thought. And now that I'm here, I have no desire to go back. Like, I am quick with negativity. Bye. Bad energy. Bye. I mean, quick. And my neighbor, he started her shit. Just da-da-da-da. I was like, bye, and walked away. She's like, just like, what? Bye. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy because I get to stand up for myself. I've always been the one like, well, I'll just sit here and listen because she needs the vent. Fuck that. No. Now that my space is all cleaned out and I have my white back, I don't want anybody to tarnish that. I don't want it. And my pastor's really good too, and he's about my age, and he's realistic. Like, he talks about forgiving people and reacting in a Christian way versus a worldly way. He says, don't think that this is easy for me. He goes, there's many a times I wanted to do, reply to an email, da-da-da-da-da. He goes, and then I had to erase and be like, okay, that's too easy. You need to go the hard way and just do it the godly way. And I'm like, you're right. And my godly way is, don't come near me. Stay away from me. I don't need your shit. And he says, and that's fine. He goes, because in this world, and this is why I said it's a spiritual war versus a human body war. And I said, if you keep it in mind, your war is between two spirits, good and evil, versus body, like, okay, it's me and him. Why is he treating me like this? Well, for one, he's not the person you thought he was. And you need to accept the person that he is. And I'm like, oh my God. That's so true.
Yeah.
And his soul is just so nasty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where people, like, as you can see, they is so disconnected between acceptance. First of all, they're not accepting themselves. Second of all, they're not accepting who that person is, and so they're wanting to change them. Try your whole life, it's not going to happen. Acceptance is where it is. And then, accepting yourself, accepting that they are who they are, and then separation, like acceptance and separation. Like you said, anybody who's like negativity, no, bye. And it's like, man, that fucking hurts, because that's someone you once loved. That's someone you thought you were going to spend your life with. That's someone you did spend your life with, however many years or months or whatever. And just acceptance that, like, you're not a failure if you release that. And it doesn't mean that you're never going to be happy again. You weren't happy then. Just like you said in the beginning of working with us, like, anything's better than this. So...
Well, and that's one thing he says now to everybody. She's never going to know love. I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, I'd rather not know love by myself than not know love when I think that it's right there. It's like so close. Actually, it's so far. Yeah. Go ahead and say whatever you want to say. And then when you just turn it around on them, like, you're never going to know love. And then it goes, that's the truth.
Right. And that's what I feel too. When I think about him saying that, I can see him saying, I'm never going to know love. Well, throw your fucking hands up and look stupid. I don't care, because you're the one holding yourself back. You're the asshole.
Yeah. What you've gone through and what's available to you.
I was.
Oh, go ahead.
What? when I look back, I told you about the picture. There's a picture, a family picture, and I'm not married into the family. And so his brothers had the waiter take a picture, and I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck's this? You know, his brother looks at the picture and starts laughing. He goes, nobody's smiling but Dad and me. Look at Judy. And I was like, yeah. And I love that picture because I would never marry into that. And that sums it all up. That right there sums it all up. If I married into that, that would be my life.
And if you were married, how much more difficult would it have been to get out? You know? Yeah. I'm so glad you didn't.
It'd have been a massacre.
Yeah. You would have been on a TV show. Look at Judy. Oh my gosh.
But you know, when because ever since I was little, I try to draw up things, put color into black and white, and I have to learn to stop doing that. So I can't draw a stick to save my life. Anyway, I drew a picture of him, of the person I thought he was when I first met him. Like, he talked himself up. I'm an officer in the military, and I had this job for 13 years in IT, and blah, 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 blah. And you know what I mean? So I drew this picture, and then I drew a picture of who he really is. And it was hard to draw that. It was really hard to draw that. But when I go back and I found that one picture of him being like obese, and the thing is that when I look at that, I see why he treated me the way he is, because he doesn't love himself. You can tell from that picture, one, he's not smiling, and two, just knowing how he beat me down about everything, it's because he doesn't like himself. You know, he would say, well, you're not going to get up and run with me? And I'm like, well, for 1:30, I'm not awake. For one, I'm not awake at 4:30 in the fucking morning to go running.
Yeah.
And two, I'm not overweight. I'm not the one overweight, you know. And then I would say stuff like this, but when I look at stuff like that and I look at the real him, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with letting him go. I don't have a problem with missing him or remorse or anything. That's hard, because you color that picture with all those colors on it and you think this person's like the greatest thing, and then you look at reality, you're like, what the hell? So much better over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, Judy, I'm gonna give you a big hug. Oh my gosh. I can't. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing to like see you in your happiness and in your light and on this path that's just light years ahead of like where you thought you could be just like a month and a half ago, less than that.
I really, honestly, before I started this, right when I started this, I was thinking about breaking my lease, just up and leaving. And I was envisioning, because I didn't have my unemployment either, just envisioning living like in a shithole just to get away. And now I've got my bills paid. I'm in the process of making my next journey come alive. And he's not in it.
Yay.
You know, and I just how do I want to say this? I know that I will never let somebody drag me down like that. I'm not gonna let myself drag myself down like that again. Yeah. In my next journey, it's going to be all positive. I do need to learn how to deal with negativity a little bit better, because I'm very black and white, but I'm vocal now. I wasn't vocal before, and I can tell people, you know what, your negative energy is smothering me. I got to go. You know,
that's the beginning of it. Yeah. And then there's distance between it. This doesn't serve me. So I only accept things that serve me in the path I'm on. And yeah, sometimes it's kind of harsh. Like, people respond to boundaries because they're constantly, especially toxic people, are constantly trying to overstep them, all because they don't have it within themselves. And it's okay. Like, that is a boundary. It's black and white. It's not like, well, maybe today it's over here, tomorrow it'll be over here, next day it'll be over here. No, it's like, this is it, and that's not. So it's not, it
I
does.
can't wait until I'm moved.
Yeah.
And when I move, I keep thinking about when I move and I have my own place and my doggie has her backyard with a tree and I have my little garden and I don't have this shit. It's going to be so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have that date yet? Or do you know?
No, I have an appointment with her tomorrow and then she's going to go over my transcripts. But either way, I'm going to make the move because one, I want to move, and two is that I'll be doing I don't know how many. I'm assuming I'll have to do a couple more prereqs going from state to state. Usually it's not even and you have to kind of make some up. So I want to do a community college to make those up, and then that way when I go and do my bachelor's, my 2 years of the herbal science, I won't be out of state residence. I'll be a resident. It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's the benefit too. Like in that kind of awaiting period to be getting classes under your belt. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. We're going to stay in touch even after this because I can't not. Well, I gotta get ready for my next call in 10 minutes. I'm gonna go use the restroom first, but I can't wait. I did send you week 5, and then our next coaching call. I mean, you just schedule it like week 6, whenever. But then we'll put together something for other people to share and just connect to, like where you're at, where you've been now, and just so others can see what's possible. Because everybody who's been through fucking hell with the narcissist deserves to come through that light and know it's available when they're ready, not if, when.
Right. And you don't know. I think it would be helpful because I never thought it would be this liberating. I just thought it would be just more stuff to kind of work on, and it would be
your belt. Like people have, I
really didn't know what to.
Yeah, like most people have go to therapy and counseling and they give them tools, and it's like your fucking tool belt's heavy and it's pulling you down, it's pulling your pants down, it's dragging you down, it's more weight to carry. This is about lightening the load, like not about like carrying more weight and having, when this person says this to me, like I'm gonna pull out this tool and use it. Like, no, you simply just walk away because you're worth it. Yeah, so
yeah, it's like you take the tool belt off and you walk the fuck away. Like, I don't need that anymore.
Exactly. Here, you carry this. This is your shit. You try to get me to carry it because it's fucking heavy, and I'm done carrying your shit. Yeah. Cool. All right, Judy. Well, I've loved connecting with you. I love seeing your face and your posts, and keep it up. It's amazing.
Sounds great.
All right. I will talk to you soon. Always reach out in the meantime if you have any other questions. But then I'll send you, week 6 in 5-7 days or whatever it is, and then we'll have our next call soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye, Judy.
Bye-bye.